Hey, it's Mike with the Claim Squad Public Adjusters here, and today we're going to be talking about cast iron pipe damage claims. Now, I had a video before, so check that one out, but I'm updating it because there's a lot more that have went on. Remember years ago, there used to be that hair transplant commercial about Cy Sperling, I think the CEO's name was, but he would say, "I'm not only a president, but I'm also a client." Well, that's pretty much like me, because I recently had my own cast iron pipe damage claim that just was settled. And I'll go through the timeline of that. But in this video, what we're going to be talking about is my claim, what I've learned from it, all the other clients that I've helped, a strategy behind handling cast iron pipe claims, what the insurance company says, what the policy reads, and how we really come together with a strategy on how we move forward with these claims. All right, so let me say this, because this is very important. Right from the onset, the most crucial thing in the video, if you ever pick anything up, and remember this, and you share it with a friend, family, neighbor, anybody that has a cast iron pipe claim, is this. Now what's happening when you contact the insurance company and say, "I want to put in a pipe damage claim. I have cast iron pipes. I had some backup, and I know it's the issue because I've got a crack in my cast iron pipes." What's happening is the people who answer the phone are given essentially a script. And the script is going to say, "Dear Mr. and Mrs. Insured, unfortunately cast iron pipes are not covered because," and then they read the exact policy language, which I will get into. So this is ridiculous. Like, their job as an insurance company is to intake your claim, investigate it, then decide if there's no coverage. But what they're doing to deter people from filing the claim and continuing is hopefully you hang up and it's like, "Oh, okay, it's not covered, fine." No, if they do that to you, say, first off, you say, "I don't care, I still want my claim to be filed. I want you guys to investigate it." Once you get off the phone with them, you Google complaints against insurance companies in Florida, and you file a complaint with the state, which is the Department of Financial Services, who regulates insurance companies, and you file a complaint and you tell them in the complaint, when they ask you what happened, "I was making a claim for cast iron pipes and the insurance company told me right off the bat that I couldn't file a claim and they weren't going to investigate it, and that was the end of it." It's unheard of, it's ridiculous, it's crazy. These insurance companies are being able to do all these predatory tactics against us, the public, and get away with it. All right, let me talk about my claim really quick. So August of 2019, I had a backup in my kitchen, went to both bathrooms. I have a 3-2, both bathrooms, and the tubs looked like an oil field. I'll just leave it at that. Dark, tarry, coffee, oil-like residue all over, dirt, just a bunch of junk. I'll leave it at that. So found out through the plumber that I called that I had a crack in my cast iron pipes in the middle of my kitchen. So they had to cut through the slab, cut through my new floors, and essentially get to that part. They put a temporary fix in by doing a PVC and connecting that to the cast iron pipe. Remember this: temporary repair, PVC connected to the cast iron pipes. Keyword, temporary. All right. So let's move on. End up filing a lawsuit in January. Before that, so from late part of August when I filed the claim, we're talking September, October, November. Over that time frame, what had happened is this: insurance company adjuster comes, takes a look at everything. Now I had a hole with dirt all around the side, wood board covering up the hole. So I had to wait before I did anything to let the insurance company take a look at it. They hired an expert plumber. The expert plumber came and looked at it, took a video of my line. They also had an expert general contractor. When I say expert, I mean that loosely. a hired gun, a hired plumber that will say adverse things about my plumbing system, saying that it's old, it's corroded, and wear and tear, and typical insurance stuff that the plumber will say to make the insurance company happy. General contractor, I had no idea what he did. He was here for 2 minutes, took his paycheck, whether the insurance company gave him, and then he was out the door. So, so all that took a couple months to schedule for them to come work with my schedule, and then they offered me like $9,000 or $11,000, and that was it. So I knew I have an attorney that I work with. I use multiple different attorneys, but I had this one specific one that I used for cast iron pipes. And I had set up the insurance company. So what he was going to do is simply file a lawsuit. I had set them up, so we both had a strategy moving forward. So when you have a cast iron pipe claim, there's going to be 3 situations, because the insurance company is going to deny it or make a small payment. Don't worry about that. I'll talk about that a little bit greater. Why it's still important to work for a public adjuster, work with a public adjuster rather than an attorney, because the attorney fees are going to be probably 40%. Public adjusters for cast iron pipes normally charge 20%. They can't charge any more. The other benefit when you work with a public adjuster, they'll have an attorney. Like me, I have somebody that works and does very well, and I refer my cast iron pipe claims to. They know the arguments, they know the experts to hire, and so that's a true benefit to have. The other great thing is those attorney fees, your insurance company has to pay for his fees. All right, so that's the benefit when you work with a public adjuster. If you go at it alone and then you hire an attorney on your own, you're going to be faced with heavy fees that's going to come from your settlement. So be careful with that. So it took a year. Normally it'd probably be a few months earlier, but that's okay. So let's go into a little bit now about the policy language. Now there's 2 different policy languages, but they're pretty much similar. It's just some add a little bit more wording to it. Well, let's take a look at policy number 1. I'm going to bring that up right now, and we'll go word for word with it. So policy number 1 states, the cost that we will pay for the tear out and repair of the portion of the part or portion of the building or other structure covered under coverage A or B as specified above is limited to only that part or portion of the covered building or other structure which is necessary to provide access to the part or portion of the system or appliance that caused the covered loss, whether the system or appliance or any part or portion of the system or appliance is repairable or not. In no event will we pay for the repair or the replacement of the system or appliance that caused a covered loss. All right, so that's one policy. Now let's take a look at another policy. The other policy, which is very similar, but it's just a shortened version. Put it up on the screen now. If any of these cause water damage not otherwise excluded from a plumbing, ding, 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 heating, air conditioning, sprinkler system, appliance, we cover loss caused by the water, including the cost of, here it is, tearing out and replacing any part of the building necessary to repair the system or appliance. We do not cover loss to the system or appliance from which this water escaped. All right, what does all that mean? Let's put this in simple layman's terms. Doesn't make sense, it's backwards, it cracks me up, but this is essentially what the insurance company is saying. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Insured, you have a cast iron pipe problem in your kitchen. Essentially, they're going to say, we'll repair that little part, we'll replace it, we'll dig it up, we'll tear it out, repair it, put everything back, and we're good. No, 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 it doesn't work that way. See, what happens then is that the entire system now is not according to building code. All right, you may have other cracks. What the insurance company that you currently have when you make a cast iron pipe wants to do is kick the can down the road. So they're hoping that you say, okay, I see the policy language, I guess I just have to deal with it. I'm not happy about it, but that's it. No, no, no. See, once they do a temporary repair, once you have a repair done, the plumber does his work, that whole system needs to be replaced. You can't put PVC and cast iron pipe together. All right? We can get a structural engineer to say, if we need be, that this isn't sound. This isn't going to last very long. This isn't what it is according to Florida building codes. We get them every time on that. The other thing is, they want to do the specific area again. The problem is, if you have other issues of that pipe along the line, by videoing the line, you are going to have other issues. Cast iron pipes just don't crack in one place. Because of the soil composition and the salt that gets into the soil and other minerals and what have you, cast iron pipes in Florida do not last long. So that whole theory behind we can only replace part of it doesn't fly. And this is how we become successful in really proving the case. Furthermore, that language, so they will tear up your floors. Your cabinets may need to be torn up, your bathroom vanities, bathroom floors, essentially anywhere the path of a cast iron pipe runs. That's what the damage is that they state they will repair and or replace and or fix, tear it up, put whatever new pipe, and then fix all that, and then we're good. They don't want to pay for everything, but that's the way we approach it. Everything needs to be torn up. Everything needs to be put back the way it was. All right? Now, the other part of that language is this. They state that we will not pay, essentially, for the pipe that goes into and replaces whatever was the issue before. Cast iron pipe, you replace it with PVC. They're saying we won't pay for the PVC. Now, hear me out. So everything to rip up, floors, cabinets, vanities, bathroom floors, they'll pay for all that. But to put in PVC piping in a 2,000 to 3,000 square foot house probably costs less than $2,000, and they don't want to pay for that. But they'll pay 50, 60, 70, 80, 90,000 for all that other work. It doesn't make sense, I know, but that's the way the policy reads. So hopefully that clarifies that a little bit. So strategy, what's a strategy that we take? First off, I would say whenever you have a cast iron pipe damage claim, make sure you call somebody. You want a public adjuster that really knows what he's doing with these claims, because they are difficult. Somebody who can guide you, somebody who can hold your hand, somebody that can tell you, don't worry about it, this is the way it's done. That's my experience. I enjoy cast iron pipe claims because being that I went through one myself and I represent a lot of people for cast iron pipes, you need this type of experience, trust me. And the other thing is, when it comes to strategy, I'll be able to guide you along the way for these claims, but don't make the mistake of trying to do it on your own, because you might say the wrong thing. Hire somebody right away. That's the most important thing. Okay? So I will tell you this. There's 3 different routes we can take when dealing with cast iron pipes when we hit the wall as far as an impasse negotiating with the insurance company. We can do what's called an appraisal, which is like a mediation. We can request the state to help us in a mediation, of an official mediation through the state, or we can file a lawsuit. And again, let me remind you, when you work with a public adjuster like me, and we work hand in hand with the attorney, and we have set your claim up perfectly to make it easier for the attorney, it makes the job so much easier, and the claim goes smoother, and the lawsuit goes smoother and quicker. All right, so that's an advantage. The other thing is, when you work with a public adjuster, the attorney fees, whatever those are, has to be paid by the insurance company. So let's say your claim settles for $50,000 and the attorney has $20,000 in fees. It does not come from that $50,000, okay? My fees would, but the attorney's fees would be on top of that. So really your settlement will be $70,000. They usually do a separate check sometimes, but they say it's a global settlement. But then the attorney will divide it up and say, okay, here's my fees, $20,000, you're left with $50,000. In most cases, clients do very well underneath my guidance with the cast iron pipe. damage claim. So take that in consideration. All in all, that's pretty much a pretty good summary of what we have to deal with these cast iron pipe damage claims. So I'm Mike with the Claim Squad Public Adjusters. If you happen to have one of these claims, give me a call. Even for a quick little one-on-one conversation, I can help guide you a little bit. You can reach me direct on my cell phone, 754-252-5438. Text me, call me. Also my email, theclaimsquad@gmail.com. Make sure you visit the website, www.theclaimsquad.com. So that's it for this cast iron pipe damage claim video. And hopefully this little video definitely helped you understand a little bit better from an insurance company's point of view how they deal with these cast iron pipe claims, and also from somebody who's went through a cast iron pipe claim. So thanks for watching again, and stay tuned for some of these other videos on property damage claims. I try to be very informative in these videos. Thank you.